We bring you the latest updates from the Pna Newsroom. Officer in charge lawyer Cheloy Garafil officially sworn in as Secretary of the Presidential Communications Office or PCO. President Ferdinand R. Marcos Jr. administered the oath of Garafil today at the Malacanang Palace. Since October last year, Garafil served as the OIC and Undersecretary of the now-defunct Office of the Press Secretary. Before this, Garafil was chairperson of the Land Transportation, Franchising, and Regulatory Board. Garafil, who also worked as journalist for over a decade, also served as a prosecutor and state solicitor under the Justice Department and the Office of the Solicitor General, respectively. Garafil said that under her watch, her office will be transparent and accurate in spreading information on the Marcos administration's policies, programs, and activities and accomplishments. She also vowed to uphold free speech and expression. Another government official is also calling for a voluntary resignation of his personnel, whom he said are not performing their duties. In a press briefing, National Commission on Indigenous Peoples Chairperson Allen Capuyan voiced out his frustration over the seemingly lax personnel and those who are allegedly involved in illegal transactions. He said these employees have become a big part of the problem as issues concerning indigenous cultural communities and indigenous peoples have not been acted upon for years. He also bared the rampant selling and buying of ancestral domains with local officials, including governors and mayors, involved in anomalous deals. Capuyan reiterates that selling, buying, and unauthorized leasing of even a portion of land classified as ancestral domain is prohibited under the law. He said there are NCIP employees who respond half-heartedly, most of whom are on the ground. In case no resignations are submitted, Capuyan said a thorough investigation will start based on the complaints they have received.
I hereby call on NCIP officials and personnel to voluntarily tender their resignation. The call is directed to those who are no longer effective in the performance of their respective mandates and to those who are unable and unwilling to respond to the legitimate burning issues raised by the ICC's IPs and which have remained unacted upon for several years now. Thus, I also call for the voluntary tender resignation of some members of the Secretariat of the NCIP who failed to perform concrete actions since the start of the administration of President Marcos, thereby making the task force irrelevant and unresponsive to developments on the ground.
The House Committee on Ways and Means will look into reports of alleged rampant agricultural smuggling at Subic port. This came after the Bureau of Customs Port of Subic seized 44 containers of misdeclared onions, bread, meat, and other food items from China early December. In a statement, Albay Representative Joey Salceda noted that previous probes in 2020, 2021, and 2022 documented incidents of technical and actual smuggling in Subic. Salceda claimed that the Subic port undercharges tariffs per container van by just as much as 1/8 of the actual tariff dues. He added that there are well-known brands in the meat industry procuring from smugglers, which is punishable under the anti-fencing law. Salceda plans to recommend changes to the implementing rules and regulations of this law to strengthen the police power of customs. And that is the latest and the biggest stories from the Pna Newsroom. For more news content, visit our webpage or head on to the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. We are also shown on the social media pages of the Presidential Communications Office and on Radio Pilipinas RP1. Stay tuned for more news updates. I am William Theo. We tell stories that inspire change.